What's up, folks? You have a good weekend at the British GP? Because that's what we're going to be talking about. Let's start getting your comments in. Do you know what? I'm going to start this show as I mean to go on because it was such a kick-ass weekend. I did a bit of that on Friday night, a little bit on Saturday. Didn't do too much because obviously I had to be on the mic with Roger and Paul and just celebrate British motocross. Before we get going, of course, massive shout out to Bell, our main sponsors of this Dirty Talk show, but also FXR, Doc Wobb, everybody else involved. So big up them. Thank you very much. Get your comments in. I'm going to put stuff across the bottom. So this is what we're going to be talking about. It's pretty straightforward. This is what we're going to be talking about. All things British GP. I can see some comments coming in already. Dick Law, again, reminding me that I'm late. Now, Dick, it's good to be late sometimes. And secondly, it's because we had a few technical problems. Me and Rog had a few of them over the weekend as well. But I think we've just got him back on. So look, without further ado, get those comments in, people. We're going to be talking all things British GP. Let's bring on, well, he was the man. He was right in the mix, one of the top Brits in MX2, new Hitachi Milwaukee factory rider. There he is, Ashton Dickinson. How you doing, mate?
All right.
Good stuff. I tell you, we're going to get on to talking about your weekend in a while because, by the way, he just said to me that off air, because he's not new to this team stuff, better put all the team wear on, but he's not used to it. So he's gone out and do it. Let's bring in my partner in crime over the weekend, along with obviously Paul Hardy. It's MC Rog. There he is. Can you hear me, Rog? Please tell me you can.
I can. Can you hear me?
We got him. He's back in the room.
Whoa, technology works.
Well, kind of. We had some real issues there getting started. So that's apologies for being a bit late. Right, again, we're going to talk all things about British GP. I want to hear loads of your comments. So quite frankly, all you got to do on Facebook is write in what you want. We will bring it up on screen, answer any questions the best we can, get firing some questions at Ashton and me and Rog. And throughout the show, we'll answer them. But I've got some points. I've actually done some homework, believe it or not. And I only just started drinking. So let's get the party started. All right, Ashton. Let's talk about your weekend because that was a bit low key, kept all quiet. I first heard about it in the press room when Elliot Spencer told me, have a look at this, have a look at this. And he wasn't showing me anything too personal. He had all your race kit to give you, obviously, because it was all hush-hush that you were riding for Hitachi Milwaukee. Here you are. So tell us, how did that come about?
I don't know. I think it's just a bit down to my riding ability. But yeah, they approached us, I think, at Fox Hills. We had a little talk with them then. And then just a week before Matterley, we kind of went and rode the bike once or twice. And yeah, we got that deal over that line.
So, yeah, but I mean, you've taken it. I mean, you earned it, first and foremost. Yeah. By the way, Rog, just because I'm the host of this show, it doesn't stop you jumping in any time because you're a commentator and I know what it's like. You've got to get in there if you've got anything to say.
Well, I was just actually going to say, at Canada Heights, suddenly this geezer, Ashton Dickinson, is up the sharp end. And I thought, at Fox Hills, I better go and talk to this bloke because I know nothing about him. And I'm wandering along looking for the big truck and nothing. And then suddenly I saw his bike outside a van, a very small transit van with an awning. And I thought, fair play. So that's when I came and sat there next to you and sort of had a chat because I thought, this geezer's there. I need to know something about him.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's come on. I mean, listen, you're obviously confident in your own ability, Ashton. You know, the way that you've improved over the year. We spoke a little bit before on a man in a van and how you went and raced in America for a bit. And I think that's obviously helped get your speed up. But, I mean, it really has over the last, I don't know, say 6 months, 8 months, possibly a year. It's just clicked, isn't it? It's gone to another level. Listen, this is no fluke or, you know, that you got this right. Obviously, you know, you take filling in for Baz and we all wish Baz a speedy recovery. But then you've got to be there to take those opportunities. And you were.
Yeah, 100%. Like I say, it's sad about Bass, but we all wish him a speedy recovery like that. But yeah, you just got to step up sometimes when they come calling. You can't really turn them down.
Oh no, definitely not. So what was it like? You know, that whole experience. Look, do you know this guy? This is Rick Bobble Mitchell. They are loads of people saying the same because let's be honest, you bloody well were ripping at the weekend. So,
see, I think I would like to take full credit for this because at Fox Hills on the mic, I actually said this geezer's working out of a small van. He needs some help. So anybody out there who's looking to sponsor someone, you could do a lot worse than look at this kid. And bang, suddenly you're signed up. So it can only be down to me, surely.
Well, it must be, Rog. There's commission on that, I think.
I would think so.
Well, Ashton, obviously, because he's gone in, because obviously everybody believes pro motocross is all smoke and mirrors. So Ashton's gone in, and he signed a £500,000 deal just for the rest of the year, haven't you, Ashton?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Nah, it's not quite like that, is it? But I guess it makes such a big difference being on a team when, like we were talking about it on commentary at the weekend, how then, you know, you and your family aren't doing it on your own. You've got all that infrastructure, you've got all the knowledge with testing parts, some factory parts, a whole team around you. Did you notice that difference straight away at the weekend, or was it too early to tell?
No, straight away. It was instant. Like it's a bit of a culture shock for us, but it's a good one. You know, especially like BC. You know, we got Saudi as well, and my mechanic, he was top job as well. So it was instantly different, but a lot of good ways. You know, they all they know how to get you psyched up and everything before a motor. That's for sure.
What was your plan?
How does your family feel? Because obviously, one week they're hands-on doing everything for you, and the next week they're probably having to step back a little bit. How do they feel about it? I'm sure they're pleased for you, obviously, but how do they feel?
It's a bit weird for my dad because he's had to take a full step down now. He just sits and watches. He's got his jacket and he just sits there and watches now. So it's weird, but I think he likes it at the same time. But like my brother was my mechanic, which he was a scaffolder, so he wasn't much of a technical guy. But
careful what you say now.
They've actually taken him as well. They've brought him to kind of ease the boat for me, you know. So it's a bit someone there that I recognise. So that's quite cool of them. But yeah, other than that, everyone's buzzing for me.
Did you know any of the guys previously, like, you know, like enough to talk to and have a decent conversation within the team, like BC and even Conrad? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I spoke to Conrad a few times, just passing and that. Never really. I never would say we were good mates, but we'd speak. I kind of knew Xander, you know, Alexander Brown.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that's it really. Like, obviously, I said hi to BC every now and again, but not on like we weren't best mates. So, but we gelled straight away. Everyone's best mates already. I know my brother there. He loves them. He never wants to leave.
I know that BC will really look after you. Obviously, I've worked with BC a lot from back when I started Twisted 7 team and then with Brian McKenzie. So BC knows his stuff. He was always destined to be a team manager. So, but although he doesn't ride much anymore or race at high level, he really does know his stuff. So you're in good hands there. Yeah. So what are we saying then, Rog? What do we think? You know, from a commentator's point of view, let's embarrass him a little bit of Ashton's performance. I mean, here's some of the comments straight away. Larry Kessel, a great ride, which it was. Oakley, that's Bob, obviously.
Got Bob.
You on the top. With Bob.
We love Bob.
This is Tony T. He's basically saying more natural British talent needs to be recognised by the British teams. Well, that's a valid point. I think we all agree with that, Rog, don't we?
Well, yeah. I mean, it is a fairy tale. It is a fairy tale because, as you say, 1 minute you're ultimate privateer. You put the work in, and you got the results, and you're signed up. So it proves it can happen. You don't have to be a rich kid. This is it. It can happen, and this is your chance. And fair play. You took it yesterday. You dived in there. You could have crumbled because there was, although the team probably said, don't worry, there was pressure on you because you're in front of your crowd. You've got all the big trucks and everyone behind you, and you know that you've got to perform. You're not there because you're a nice bloke. You're there to do a job and to win the races. And fair play. You fired out there and you looked as though you've been there all the time.
Yeah, no, it was nice actually. But like you said, there is a little bit of pressure. You know, the team won't enforce anything, but you have that self pressure. You know, like you say, you see the mechanics, you see the rig. There's that little bit that you put on yourself. But obviously, you want to go and perform for them and the home crowd at the same time. So I think I did that in the first moto.
You did that all right. Talk us through it,
Yeah.
Ashton. Talk us through it, because you did get, a pretty good start. And then at any point in that race, did you know pretty good, like obviously not great, but you were up there straight away pretty much as the leading Brit. At any point in that race, did the pit crew, or did you have any understanding that you were in fact the leading Brit, or is it just like it was just so much go, go, go? Because the level in MX obviously 2 is even higher at the top end speed. So I guess you didn't have time to think about anything other than just riding flat out. But how did it actually feel, right, lining up on that gate thinking, this is my shot, this is my chance?
No, it was good, actually. I don't know. It was, like I say, I was just trying to go out and send it as good as fast as I could. That's all I was trying to do. But like pitboard-wise, even though it was cool to be the first Brit, I wasn't bothered. I just wanted to get as far up as I possibly could. Me and Taylor had a good battle midway through, I think. It'd have been nice to go all the way to the end of that, but we had a little bit of a bike issue. Tell
us what happened there, because we didn't know that. Obviously we thought in commentary, we never know what's going on under a helmet or what's happening with a bike. And I think we kind of might have called it, it's just like, okay, the tension, the adrenaline starting to wear off. But no, it wasn't that at all, was it?
No, I had plenty of energy left, dude. I wanted to go. I was trying to fight back for that 12th place, man. But no, something happened with the injector or something like that. But the bike started bogging anyway, and it was getting a bit sketchy towards, like, I was trying to do the triple in the rhythm, and the bike just wasn't having it. So I ended up having to double that whole section. And that's how that Michael Sander kid got me. But yeah, I tried to manage it just all the way home. And then I'm glad I did, to be fair.
So no disrespect, but the week before, when you're a privateer, the bike runs perfect. Suddenly you're a factory superstar, and you get bike problems. What's going on?
I know. How does that work? It's not. It's one of them, innit? You get every now and again stuff happens, doesn't it, man?
Well, that's, you can argue, I suppose. Obviously, better equipment, more advanced equipment, and whatever, they're pushing the boundaries, I guess, of performance, and that's not taking anything away from the team. Of course, Roger was only joking about that. Of course, he was. So this is you look when you cross the line. I mean, I did see it. I was watching you over the line. You did give it a little bit of one of them.
Yeah, that was like an anger. Someone else said that to me. Like,
was it? Oh, right. I thought it was because you were elated.
No, I was fuming. Yeah, because I thought I could have had Taylor. I could have got Taylor back 100%. I knew it, but like I say, it's just one of them. You can't control stuff that's out of your hands. Like it's whatever. But I was fuming after it.
Well, I think that speaks volumes of where you're at then mentally.
I agree. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. If you don't come in there thinking, "Oh, look at me, fantastic! I'm best Brit," you come in angry because you thought you could have done better. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
definitely. Let's go into race 2 then, because we're going to talk about your weekend a little bit before we get into all the other racing, because I definitely want your opinion on a lot of the other racing. There's a comment from MJJ Carter. What about your second moto battle with DeWolf? Now, I've got to be honest, I only saw glimpses of it. So is there something we missed here on commentary? Did you have a bit of a set to with him?
No, it was quite good, actually. I had a couple of battles with a couple of like the factory dogs, like even Jago Gertz. I had a bit with him. But that one with DeWolf was quite funny because he was pressuring me like mad. And then I think he came in hot on one corner before the rhythm section. And that got close. I think he got my boot buckle and lot. But yeah, we were just like jousting, kind of. He was blocking me, I was blocking him. We made a pass, I made a pass back, and then he ended up making a pass that stuck. But I was happy to have a little battle with him.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the performance was fantastic. I mean, where you go from, obviously, you've got Italy up next, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you been there? Have you been to Missouri?
What did you say?
Have you been to Missouri?
That's it. No, never been. Never.
You will love that place.
Oh.
And that will make you feel a proper foreign GP. It's 8 o'clock in the morning when they're playing Nessun Dorma flat out over the speakers. that makes you feel that you're abroad. Then you will love Majora.
I'll tell you what, he's right. You will absolutely love it. Just to give you extra motivation, not that you need it. You definitely, because you're probably too young to have seen this or remember it. Obviously, the infamous 86, I think it was, Motocross of Nations, wasn't it, Raj? Is that right?
Johnny
Yeah.
O'Mara.
Rick Bailey, David Bailey, Rick Johnson, Johnny O'Mara. Go and YouTube it. Go and check it out, right? And watch that before you fly out there. That will give you extra motivation.
And watch O'Mara jumping past Dave Thorpe on the downhill.
All right, I'll give that a watch.
That will show you how to jump, I tell you.
It's
Thorpe said he didn't have a front brake, which is fair comment.
Yeah. So rear brake went from either way. Because he legitimately didn't, but we'll give it to the Yanks. They still dominated. But look, it's an amazing track. You'll love it.
Nice.
So look, first and foremost, before we get on, absolutely stonking performance, and I'm sure you set. We were trying to whip up the crowd as much as we could, but just before we sign off about your performance, I've been fortunate enough to experience it. Roger's been fortunate enough to experience it as a commentator at Nations and whatever. But what's it actually like? When you ride around in front of your home crowd and you're in a battle there and they're getting at it. Just explain to people what it's like.
It's mega, really. Like every single part of the track, I even said it in my caption. I thanked all the fans. It's unreal. They've all got their blow-ons. They're screaming. They're cheering. I actually made a pass one corner, and as soon as I passed, you could just hear it. It just lit up. It were mint. It's undescribable how it makes you feel. It's nice.
Oh, he's up and running with it now, Roger. And you can tell that he's got a proper spring in his step. To be honest, ever since I've got to know you, Ashton, you're quite lively and quite upbeat, so that's good. But obviously this has given you such a shot in the arm for the rest of the year, no doubt. Yeah, we'll be following him, won't we, Rog, along with all the other Brits?
Listen, I have to say, hands up, first of all, fantastic, well done to the Hitachi team for taking you on and giving you the chance, because they probably could have had somebody with bringing money into the team. So fair play to them. And second, this goes to prove that nice guys do win, because you are a nice kid and you are going to be there. You are. No doubt about that. You're going to be there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we better move on, as we're all going to start welling up.
Yeah.
Can't be too complimentary on this show. It's not in my nature. Right. Ashton, Rog, let's talk. So I've made some points here. Bring up any other points that caught your eye, but let's start with the EMX 125 and Bobby Bruce's performance. Ashton, what did you think of that? You've come through, you've ridden a 125. Bobby's young. How do you think he coped with it all, with the pressure? Because there was a degree of expectation on him. And what did you think of his performance? Yeah,
I think Bobby's always got quite a lot of pressure on him, hasn't he? Because he's the next kid that's supposed to do big things. So I think he handles it really well always, even when he's riding with us at the British. But he did his stuff this week, and I think he did everybody proud, all the Brits, getting on the podium especially.
Yeah.
How proud of him.
Oh, totally. We all were. So, Rog, what do you reckon? I mean, because obviously we were right there on the commentary tower, because he was, Ashton, I'm not sure if he was aware of this, but obviously he got deducted points for a little off-track excursion.
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, and we were right there, Rog, and it was a difficult one because you obviously had the race director even come up to you and ask for your opinion. So, Rog, just run through what happened there.
To be honest,
too political.
It happened right underneath us, and he wasn't the only one. He jumped the uphill double, triple, overshot the berm, rejoined the race, but he was in a gaggle of riders. He literally, he's fired up. He rode straight back on the track. Fair play. He finished, got himself back up in the results. A few minutes later, there's word that there was going to be a protest, not a protest, but a penalty. And the race director came up to me, who I know, and he said, "Did you see the incident?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Was it him who jumped over?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "But he didn't gain an advantage," thinking, trying to think ahead and save the kid. And he said, "Did you see it? Was it him?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "He definitely gained 2 places." And that was it. Decision made. So I felt guilty, but I couldn't say I didn't see it and it wasn't him. But I did try and mitigate by saying he didn't gain an advantage. But they said he did. But now fair play. That's what I like, is when someone spoke to him afterwards, he took it on the chin and he came out swinging in race 2. So I've gained a lot of respect for the kid there, because he could have spat the dummy and he could have been charging about and got upset and gone to pieces, but he didn't. He accepted it, took it on the chin, probably was well pissed off. Of course he was, but he used that energy in race 2 to come out and show us what he could do. So I gained a hell of a lot of respect for him there. Fair play.
Ashton, you wouldn't have known this. We had Billy McKenzie come up between motos. I don't know if because you probably couldn't hear the commentary back in the pits because all the speakers were firing out towards the crowd.
Yeah.
But Billy, being Billy, was pretty opinionated about it. Not the game because he didn't gain places, and they say he did, but he didn't. But obviously, he come off the track when you come up that big uphill triple towards the commentary tower. And as a rider, you know how hard it is to make that corner.
I did that in qualifying as well.
There you go.
And then Conrad did it in race 1 as well, he said.
Yeah, because you've only got to overjump it by what do you reckon? A couple of feet, 2 or 3 feet?
Yeah, and it's straight into that turn, so it's quite difficult to stop as well.
Yeah. So he went off there, and then he just kind of skimmed the corner and didn't go across the finish, but just missed that next little bit of straight before it starts to hook right. And they're basically saying that he didn't go back. But of course, as a rider, if you'd have spun round and gone back where you come off, you'd be going straight into oncoming traffic.
Yeah, it's sketchy. It's dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah. But anyway, we're not the race director. That's just our opinion, and we're being biased because we're British. Which we can be, and we are all over the weekend. But then this is the one where I'm confused at. I really am with the ruling. Again, this is not siding out. This is just the ruling. This is like we're getting into the realms of football here and the offside rule and VAR and all that nonsense. But the second moto was this red flag incident. Zanchi Federico was leading, wasn't he, Rog? He was leading at the time, had a massive crash, got badly injured. Still don't know how he is. Any word on that, Rog? I didn't really hear it.
No, I haven't. No.
Anyway, we hope he's really well. But then they do the count back. So he ended up winning the race, even though he was the one that caused the red flag. Now, listen, I don't want anybody to go, getting injured or anything like that. But it just seems such an odd rule to me that you can cause a red flag incident and not be classed as a DNF and actually end up winning the race, which effectively stopped Bobby with having a shot at the overall. So, I mean, I'm not just getting that. I just think it's a bizarre rule anyway. Opinions, people. What do we think on that if we're going to write the rule book? Would we change it?
Yeah, I'd definitely change that. It's caught me out once or twice. That has... I don't agree with that rule.
Because let's be honest here, right? Not that anybody would do this. Nobody would wreck themselves on purpose. But effectively, you could get halfway through a race and go, "Come on, I'm feeling a bit tired here. I know what I do. I'll throw it down the track, cause a DNF, and win the race." It all seems a bit strange. I get the count back. I get that. But if you've caused the race to be red flag, surely that's a DNF.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
It's Bobby himself.
Yeah, I think it's the trouble was, it was.
Bob, he's had time to think of it now. Look, Bob, he's had time to think about it. Bob, I know you're watching because you've just commented. We're all very proud of you and the way you handled it, as Roger said, because we thought you handled it so bloody well that you just got your head down for the second moto. So there we go. Go on, Rog. Fire away.
See, I feel hugely guilty that the race director asked me, was it Bobby that jumped? I had to say yes, but Bobby, I did try and mitigate it. I did say you didn't gain an advantage. I did try my very best, but he wasn't listening to me. So please take that one.
There's a lot of people obviously on the side there saying he didn't actually gain place. He lost to. I don't know how they worked it out, Rog. We're not in a position on commentary to get involved with race direction at all. You have to be honest and asked if it was him. You said, yeah. It just seems the ruling, I think, needs to be looked at, because like Dick Law says here, in Speedway, obviously if you crash, you're out of the race. If you stop the race, you don't restart even.
No, that's not strictly true. You're thrown out of the race if you caused the incident.
Yeah.
If there's a red flag and you're not deemed to have caused it, you get the restart. If you're deemed to have caused it, so that's slightly different. But the trouble was it's circumstances, because it was only very marginally over halfway, which caused it to be not have a restart. So that was difficult. If it had happened 2 minutes earlier, they would have had a restart.
Yeah. Because
it wouldn't have been over 50%. So that was bad luck. The count back, the kid who crashed, he happened to be leading. So it was all against Bobby. Definitely it conspired against him, because if it had happened 2 minutes earlier, they would have restarted the race.
But let's look at the positives. It's been and gone now, so you can't change it. Bob's on form, strong title contender, and that's something to shout about, definitely. And he was particularly strong at the end of the race. So Tom, in particular, Tom, Bobby's dad, Bobby, we feel your pain with that. I think we all did, but I'm sure you'll get your head down, and it's a good if that didn't happen and you looked at just the weekend and gone solid start, third on the box, you'd be happy, right?
Yeah, I think he showed a lot of maturity, as I say, the way he dealt with that and the way he came out and showed everybody in race 2, which is the absolute best thing to do, isn't it? Just show everyone what you're capable of in race 2. That's what he did.
Definitely. Well, Bob, look, thank you. Well, Bob, deserved. You'll get our support and you'll get Ashton's too, right until the point when you've got to race him at the Revo in MX2. Because if you start messing with him, Ashton's not going to like you then.
He already knows. I was screaming at him one race, and he messaged me after the race.
Where was you screaming at him?
What? I think it was Cullum, because he got some mega starts at Cullum, and I came from the back, and I came up to him, and I was screaming up behind him, revving bike and everything. But he held his nerve, to be fair.
Right. So you tried the classic, just like I'm a little bit older, intimidation.
Yeah,
You thought he might buckle, thinking he was being lapped or something, or just intimidate to the.
It didn't work.
Hey, look, maybe he didn't. Look, that's his reply to that.
But I got round him by that time, so I think he was just trying to hang, and he couldn't hang, could he?
Oh, good stuff. I like that.
There's me saying what a nice bloke you were, Ashton Dickinson.
I'm a good guy.
I'm going to retract that now.
Well, Bobby, look, we've got two strong-minded lads here. Look, because Bobby is like races on now. Right. I'm looking forward to the next British then. This will be good. I mean, to be fair, Ashton, I don't want to put extra pressure on you, but Bob is on a 125, so you should beat him. Just adding that little
thing rips though.
That thing does rip.
That thing hauls, man.
Bobby will tell you it's his skill doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm looking forward to that. Let's move on then to the. I want to talk about the two strokes and the MX 125 and 250, but the Fantics in particular. Rog, we were super impressed with those machines. Great to see a two-stroke 250 win the EMX 250. That thing just sounded so cool, but also Lapucci. My God, I honestly don't think he went. He must have stayed in that half a meter of track for both races. I hardly saw him get offline.
Well, I saw the results from the Italian Championship when was it, Sardinia in January, early season, whenever it was. And Lapucci was putting it to the GP guys there, and he actually won the championship. And you think, hang on, 252 stroke, what's that about? And then suddenly he turns up, and I mean, the thing, like you say, it just sounded brilliant and it ripped. But how much of that is down to him? Because his teammate was mid-pack. So how much of it is down to Lapucci? How much is down to the bike? I don't know. I
think a lot to do with Lapucci. Did you get to watch any? You must have been there, Ashton, on Saturday.
Yeah, checking the first race because we went for a little ride out on Saturday. So I missed the first.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I caught the second. You were ripping, to be fair, but I don't know if I agree with the 252 stroke and the 250.
Oh, controversy. I like it.
Yeah,
I like Ginner. I like Ginner. I haven't got to know him very much, but I'm going to get him on these shows more often.
Tell you what, though, I bet if Dave Willett's watching this, he'll go mad at me now because he loves the two stroke, doesn't he? I don't agree with it.
That's true. Why don't you agree with it?
I don't know, because I just think they're too fast. You think a stock one of them is probably just as fast as my race bike. So I just don't agree with them having them.
Jeff, do you remember going back when 250Fs first came out? Someone did a calculation that a 144 two-stroke was the same as a 250F. 144 two-stroke was the same as a 250F four-stroke. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
TM and people started bringing up 144s. So that bears out what Ashton's saying.
That is true.
It's not a cheater bike, innit? Legal cheating.
Well, I suppose you could say, I've got to say, I love them because it's just my generation. That's all there is to it. Having said that, when the four strokes came in, I think they sort of lengthened my career by another 2 or 3 years. They definitely did for me because they were just so much easier to ride and not so tiring. But yeah, so there we go. Controversy from Ashton Dickinson. It's a get them out.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's happened. I'm quite surprised FIM sort of let it happen, you know.
I
But
was, yeah, I can't believe he was running it. It was
Yeah.
a bit of a shock for me. Yeah.
but he was particularly good. And then I hadn't seen the kid until I saw him in the press room, and then I thought, my God, not only does he ride like Caroli a little bit.
Oh my God, it looks like him, doesn't
He
it?
doesn't he? Yeah. I was like, Christ, they could be related.
Yeah.
Like, same, like the kind of like the Roman nose, and you know.
Caroli's love child, you reckon? Is that what you're saying?
Careful. That's allegedly. Careful.
Well, work it out. Caroli's 35. How old's Lapucci? Think about it.
Oh God.
Think about it.
Well,
Just saying.
Okay. That's Rog making those wild accusations, Tony. Just in case you do ever see this show, which he probably won't. He's got better things to do, I'm sure, like going for a 10th world title. So I thought I was really impressed with the Fantics and the EMX race in general. That was cool. And I do like the format now. I know it was enforced by COVID and whatnot, but I kind of like getting all the EMX done on one day and then the GPs on the other. What's your take on that, Ashton? Because you've done a few EMXs before where you've obviously had to race over 2 days. Do you prefer the 1 day format?
I like it, and especially in the MX2 class now, I quite like it a lot. Obviously, I had to get my head around qualifying, you know, because the year before we had, or at least at the beginning, we had the quali race, which I was relying on them quite a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I like the EMX 1 day and then us another day. I think it works really well.
What about you, Rog? I think as a commentator, when you got to do the event day, I noticed because we'll obviously commentate whatever's thrown at us, but I think it has more flow. It's easier to rather than swapping and changing from a commentator's point of view as well. I think the fans prefer it too.
I like it. I definitely like it because it means you can devote your attention to each class rather than sort of. And it when you got the GP guys on the same day, it almost sort of takes a little bit of the shine off of the Europeans. Well, when they're on their own on the Saturday, the focus is all on them. So I like it as well.
Yeah, I hope they stick with it. I mean, obviously, British GP. Hopefully, Steve Dixon's done enough there. Again, well, he's got not bailed them out of trouble, but obviously the calendar was all over the place, and fair play to him once again. You know, just putting his balls on the line in very, very difficult circumstances, and what a GP it turned out to be. I mean,
well, especially because the hoops I know had to jump through this time with COVID and everything else. It's bad enough because in Britain he has to do so many logistical things to satisfy the council, environment, everybody else. They really put him through it, and this time he had COVID as well, so he had double the problems this time. Double the problems.
How did you find it, Ashton? You know, with any COVID restrictions as a rider, did you have to do like tests or lateral flow tests and all that when you got there or before? What was the protocol with that as a rider?
Yeah, we had to. I think all the team, everybody that wanted to get into the rider paddock, had to do a COVID test before you come. So yeah, we did a self one though, so it wasn't as bad, but it still sucks.
So what's the crack now then with your traveling? I mean, is that all sorted out for you by the team, or have you got to sort it out yourself? And how does it work now with the COVID restrictions? You know, how far ahead are you having to plan for your next events?
It's a struggle. It's really hard because the team help us as much as they can, but at the end of the day, you've got to figure out your flights and stuff like that. But again, it's hard to fly because sometimes if you fly, then you have to quarantine. So I think most of them, me and my brother will just be driving there and meeting the team.
Yeah, it's tough going, but obviously now at least you've got that bit of support regards of getting all the bikes there and all that. You're not having to sort all that out yourself.
No,
that's a huge advantage.
Oh,
So listen, talking about the other Brits, I'm going to give them an honourable mention just because they thoroughly deserve it. I thought Jamie Carpenter rode a blinder. He's clearly getting much better and better. You know, as Tom Grimshaw, I thought held his own as well in the EMX 250, and good to see Ike Carter out there. Ike got a rock to the face in the second moto, unbeknown to us. Yeah. So actually, I've done a little vlog from the weekend, which is on our YouTube channel right now, and I went and saw him afterwards, and so I filmed all the inside of his crash helmet, which isn't pleasant. So something out of a horror movie. I was actually going to sit him in the van to do a man in the van, but you know, he actually, well, I should have done really, because he'd have made me look good.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't. He was
that bad then, was he?
Yeah, that
He was
bad.
pretty bad,
He was pretty bitten up. Like all his lip and everything started to swell. So I thought I'll let him off this time. I'll grab him another time. But then moving into your class, MX2, Rog, we were waxing lyrical about Renault. I thought he was really, really solid. Certainly the way he handled the pressure in that opening motor. You hadn't seen any of this, Ashton, because you was out there battling around. Just he got away a bit from you guys, but he was pretty solid. I think he's a contender, Rog, don't you? Genuinely.
Well, the first race, okay, he had it easy is the wrong word, but he was relaxed because he got out in front, got a gap, and then just rode it out, which was fair play. But the second one, he had to come from a fair way back, and he gradually just picked people up, and then got back in there and did enough to get the win. So fair play to him. Fair play to him. And he looked good. He looked smooth. He looks. He is a contender, and it shows straight away. Tom Vial now 50 points. He lost this weekend. Yeah. Potential 50 points. You know, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's going to be back at Majora. I did hear.
Yeah.
Vial.
But still, I mean, like I said, 50 points on a long season to call it back. But what I'm saying is, although he was kind of convincing in Russia, I don't know. I just think the others will get a little bit closer to him this year. I genuinely think that. I think his, you know, like Guardini, he's not his direct teammate because he rides out of the other side, the Italian side of the factory KTM setup. But
he looked good though, didn't he? Guardini.
Yeah, second moto win.
Yeah,
you know.
I think Vial his main, apart from Renault, I think Hoffer and Guadagnini will be his competition because they're looking good.
Yeah. Ashton, you had a bit of time out on track with them, obviously a little bit, not racing them. You know, I don't want to making that sound like you didn't perform well. You did. We're talking, you know, so obviously if you went straight in and you were winning races, Christ, that would be phenomenal. But you rode around with it, you know, with them in qualifying and practice. Anything that you see or you learn from them? Obviously, they're on genuine factory equipment. As a rider, even though you're on a fantastic bike, is there anything that when you was riding around that caught your eye with any of these guys? Or are you just so focused on what you're doing that you don't really worry about anybody else?
Yeah, no, I think you are quite focused. You don't really look at other people, but you can pick some stuff up every now and again. Mainly, like I seen Rennie Hoffer had a bit of a struggle in first moto and got a bit of a bad start for his standards. So like we were there, and then I passed him back one corner, which I was gassed about. He ended up passing me, but I think the difference between them and everybody else is just they're so angry. Everybody in that class is just so angry that they just like I've heard this before, but it's like you've banged their missus and they want to kill you. It's literally like that. For the whole 35 minutes, they just want to kill you. That's the only difference between them and EMX.
I tell you what, Rog, I can't believe we didn't pick up on that in commentary and say and actually make references like that, because I think he's got a point.
I'll tell you what, we get away with a lot, Jeff. I don't think we get away with that one.
That is excellent. So that's the difference, you know. But they really, I mean, I don't see. It's funny, isn't it? I don't sort of see some of them like that. But I guess as the crash helmet goes on, you know,
don't you see now? Again, I'm going to get in trouble again. But the atmosphere in Red Bull KTM is angry, isn't it?
Yeah,
there is a lot of pressure in there. A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You don't see the riders smiling a lot in Red Bull KTM, do you?
Nah.
Well, I suppose, yeah, they're right. The pressure's on there. They're expected to win, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, they certainly got the equipment to do it.
They're getting paid. That's what they're getting. I'm not, but they are. That's why they're so angry.
If that's the case, then Ashton, what are you going to do to put yourself in that frame of mind? Don't go around banging somebody else's missus, as you put it. That's probably not the best way to do it. But how do you think you're going to find that then? Because sometimes it's your character, isn't it? You are. It's very difficult sometimes to sort of be somebody you're not. So, I think you're super aggressive. I think you're pretty much there anyway. The way I've seen you ride in the last sort of year and a half, I think you do get stuck in. And actually what you said when you crossed the finish line, I think kind of speaks volumes. But you just got to find that bit extra bit. So what are you going to do to make yourself angry? What are you going to do? Smack yourself in the bollocks before the start of the race? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I'm quite an angry guy anyway, to be honest. Like,
doesn't come across.
Yeah, it's mad. But on the track, little things really piss me off. So like, I think I was nearly fighting at Cheddar, dude. Like, we went to Cheddar on Saturday, and these local kids was trying to race me, and I got roosted, and one hit me right in the balls. So like, I got so angry. But then I realized, I was like, oh, you're not yourself now, Jenny. You're on Hitachi. So like, I had to calm down, because otherwise I'd have been fighting, dude. But no, I'm quite an angry guy, so I think anything little I can get myself fired up, and I'll be angry as them.
How are you going to cope with the corporate stuff? You know, where you got to on press conferences, you got to say the right thing and all that sort of stuff. How are you going to cope with that?
I don't know. I think I'll be all right. I just have to hold myself back a bit and think again and see what I'm going to say. But I'm still learning. You know, I've got to learn. Conrad's pretty good at it, so I think I can learn a lot from him.
I still think there's a fine balance with it though, Rog. And we spoke about this. Listen, we're in a corporate world, I get that, but at the same time we are losing characters, and that's part of the thing that makes people cool and want to follow a rider. And it's getting that fine balance. And
that's why I think a lot of people don't. That's the one thing you don't like about the American scene, is because they take it to the next level, don't they? It's on interviews, it's corporate. Yeah, thank everybody, you know, and it's just so false. It doesn't come across. It really doesn't. No. So, like you say, if someone's all right, you can't be controversial, but you can be a bit more grounded and a bit more down to earth. And you seem like that, Ashton. I think you could do that. People respond to that. They like you. They can relate to you. That's how they're going to support you. Is you're one of us. That's
it. Yeah, I like to be like that as well. I don't want to change just because you've got a little bit of speed or whatever. I think I'm as normalest guy ever, you know. So I think I like kids that I see on press conferences and stuff like that. I like them when they're just chatting as if it's their mates. So I try to do the same, but obviously be respectful and a little bit more professional.
Yeah, don't worry, you're covered. I'm going to have a word with Roger and BC, and just say, look, don't change the kid. Let him be like he is. And of course, so what we need to do, it wouldn't be surprised if you're walking through a paddock before a race and you see Ashton Dickinson being kicked in the balls, just to try and give him some extra bit of oomph. So that's an interesting thing. Talking about that balance, I'm going to move into MXGP. We'll talk about your teammate Conrad now let's talk about Conrad first. So obviously you know Conrad a little bit, but you're doing your own thing in it and whatever. So this is more for you, Rog. Conrad had just like not the weekend he hoped for at all, or level of expectation from us, maybe. I don't know, but I mean, clearly he would have come away from there not happy at all, because it's nowhere where he wants to be, is it?
Yeah, well, we didn't know, because we were building him up, you know, as guaranteed podium contender, and everyone was saying the same. And to be honest, he is. You've seen him, Ashton, at the British this year. Man, the first couple of rounds, the kid is flying. He's absolutely on it. He is flying. But for some reason, if he doesn't get the start, he seems buried. That's the trouble. If he gets a start, he's gone. He's fast. If he doesn't get the start, there seems to be some sort of block, and I don't know. And the problem is that's the issue. Probably, how do you get around that? I don't know. You know, I don't want to speak out of turn, because the kid's trying. There's no doubt about that, and the team are doing their best. Everyone is, and that's the frustrating thing, is you know how fast he is. We know that he could be the top level. No doubt.
There's no doubt about it. I know. You know, it wasn't a GP, but he turned up at Fat Cat for the first round of the Michelin MX Nationals, and my God, like watching him go around there doing things, you know, like I haven't seen anybody for a long time, if at all, do around Fat Cat. The way he was bouncing over some of the bumps and doing almost like Hurlins-esque, you know. So I mean, you might not have, I'm not putting you on the spot here, Ashton, but I guess you were doing your own thing. But you know, you're almost having, not euphoric, but you've had a great opening ride for the team, and then the other side of the truck is probably all not doom and gloom, but it's clearly a bit down. Did you just sort of think, oh God, I'm not getting involved with that, and just stay out of it, because they must have been a little bit disappointed with how it went for Conrad.
Yeah, I did. I just went and washed my boots for a little bit while they had a
Good
talk.
idea.
But I don't think they were super angry. I think everyone's got a high expectation of Conrad. It's kind of like the same thing as Bobby, innit? You know, he's the big guy in MX2 at the minute. But I don't. Yeah, it was just one of them. He had an off day. Everybody has off days at work, you know.
Yeah.
I think I've seen him in practice now, and he's fast. You know, he's really fast. So if he brings even a little bit of that speed to race days, I think he's got no problem of winning.
How easy or how hard was it to overtake at Matterley? Because although it's a big, fast, sweeping, wide track, there wasn't a great deal of overtaking going on, Jeff, was there?
No.
So, Ashton, how easy or hard was it?
No, it was a bit of a struggle because it wasn't normal Matterley. Like normal Matterley is like 5 ruts each corner, you know, insides, outsides, everywhere. But it were almost flat tracking in some areas, so you had to think 5 corners ahead of what you wanted to do and stuff like that. But it was a lot of aggression at the same time. You had to just hold it on for a little bit longer than that guy if you wanted to get around him. It was strange, and it was a bit of a struggle, yeah. So I understand.
That's what I'm saying. In Conrad's defence, if you didn't get the start, you know, it wasn't a track for making up huge ground, was it?
No, not really.
That was probably listen, it's a GP track. It's still hard. But what I would say is that's probably the easiest I've seen the track to ride. You know, round the first corner down past pit lane, you normally get like massive bumps or big kickers starting to build up halfway down. And then as you get towards the end of the pit lane strength and you go down that sort of off camber, you get some big old huckers there. But I mean, you guys were still rattling off their full chat by the end of the day. It just wasn't getting rough, was it?
No. It like I say, it was weird. It's like they didn't till it quite deep, but it still got rough in areas, but like it wasn't normal Matterley. You know, normal Matterley is like ruts that are like 5 feet deep and that. So it was still Matterley's always fun.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's fun to watch. I know that much. Some of the jumps and everything. Just I said I need another shot round there. I think I've only ridden around there slowly on a pit bike. I want to have a proper go. But then that might not be a good idea. Well, I probably need some more of them just to get in shape. John Hall says, "Look, I would like to thank Budweiser and the man above." Well, I'll thank Budweiser, not the man above. Not unless I live in a basement flat. Let's talk about. Let's get into MXGP then, because Rog, what a great couple of races we had to call on that. Everybody expected Tiger Tim to come in and just after his Russia performance, and
I did. For sure. I was telling everybody you can't look past guys who he's going to run away this weekend, and he didn't. Basically, he didn't. He had to work hard, and you know he got there, but he didn't do what I expected. Watching him in Russia was unbelievable, and I thought this is it. He's going to go, but I tell you, man, Caroli, 35 years old, everyone's writing him off, and he turns on a performance like that. Come on.
Yeah, he's still got it, any Ashton. You know, like I mean, clearly, I didn't realise because he does keep certain things. He still plays cards close to his chest. He's pretty good at it. Behind you, he's got a great team around him that know him, and he's been with them for years. They've been with him for years. But I was reading something leading into the weekend or over the weekend that he's only just been able, after 2 years, to start running again because
he said that in a press conference. He said that he's still having trouble with his knee, and he's only just started doing a bit of light running. So, you know, he's not 100%.
No, I wouldn't put it past it. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Tony Caroli, not just because of how he rides. We were talking a little while back, weren't we, about how you be like this balance between being a good ambassador, but also having personality and not being a robot. I think in the modern era, he's done it as good as anybody. You know, he doesn't say anything overly controversial, but he's just such an amazing ambassador for a sport. Always open to talk to people, always positive.
But he's still got fire in his belly because we were talking about that pass he made on Geyser.
Yeah. That
was brutal, wasn't it?
It was. Did you get to watch that last race to Ashton at all, or was you busy cleaning your boots and staying out of an awkward conversation back at the
Bay? Yeah, I missed it. I missed the last race.
Oh, when he came down the inside there by the start line, Jeff.
Yeah, that, I mean, right. Straight up, I'm not exaggerating here. That was, I said to you, Rog, off commentary, off air, that was the hardest that you could have got. So basically, Ashton, they come over the finish jump, then that nice floater, and then you go down the straight that turns onto the start. He put a move up the inside that I think he probably went in as fast as that corner as you probably could and still just about make the corner.
Yeah.
Like, he went up the inside and parked. He didn't stuff him, but he obviously had to commit to it.
That's it.
Honestly, he was so hard on the front brake to make the corner. It was just
if you remember 2 years ago, Hurlins did that to him and did Caroni, didn't he? Exactly the same place.
Yeah. It was, so I honestly, listen, I'd love to see him win 10 world titles. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he deserves to, you know. I mean, Everts is up there on the pedestal with 10, but I think what Caroli's given to the sport and the way he's conducted himself, I just think it would be great if he matched it. You know, not necessarily to beat it. I think they're both worthy of being there. Definitely.
I think the class is so competitive. The guy who wins is the one who stays healthy.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you know, and it's who stays healthy and keeps scoring the points every week, because they are so fast. Any one of them could crash and miss a few races. So it's who stays healthy. They're all fast. They can all win. Febvre, Geiser, Caroni, Hurlins, Prado, they can all win. 7 or 8 of them can win quite easily.
Well, what did we say? Was it the first race, or was it in qualifying, Rog, when we said on the commentary that anyone, I don't know if you said it or I said it or whatever, where we said any one of those top 9 could win a race at any given time, and they could.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's super competitive. I was impressed with Febvre. I think if he could have got past the Pinot early doors in that first race, he would have made it onto the box. He was obviously pissed off big time, being overtaken on the last lap by guys that really showed, because that cost him a podium by my maths, which isn't great. But I think I was right with that, Roger, wasn't I? Yeah. But it was a brilliant. I mean, in a way, having the track like it was, it's difficult to say because we don't know, but it's almost like, because the margins were so fine, Ashton, like you're saying, you know, and the track was so fast, it almost, once they got together at the start of that race, all those big guns were there, it kind of made the race it was, because it was more like road racing. It was so difficult to make up time, and if you made the slightest mistake, so they were just so intense for like that last 20 minutes. They were going as hard as they could.
Yeah, it was mint. I think I watched the first race, and it was just a train, wasn't it? The whole top 10 was just there. So yeah, I like stuff like that. But it makes it more enjoyable, doesn't it? You know, when you don't know who's going to pass who and who's going to win, it makes it more fun.
No,
what's the question for you two? What's your take on Hurlings?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because he's next on my list. So in classic commentator mode there, Rog, we're still in the zone from the weekend, teeing each other up.
Yeah.
Hurlins. Oh, 2 things with Hurlins for me. He sort of said that, I read something today on some press releases, that he's not panicking about it, but he's openly put his hand up and said, I haven't got the raw speed for long enough yet. So I don't know. So unless he's playing mind games, and I don't think he is, I think he's being straight up honest. I think he's just tamed it down a little bit, like we said, Rog, off air, to try and stay healthy and not get injured. But by doing that, he's maybe turned it down a little bit too much. And he needs to ride on instinct more. I think that's what makes Jeffrey Hurlins who he is.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure whether Hurlins has got slower or everyone else has got faster. Because Hurlins said last year, when he had, when was it, 18, when he won the championship, he won 18 out of 20 GPs. Everyone just, you know, he said they were scared of him. Suddenly last year when he got hurt, he said they're not scared of me anymore. And now they're not. They don't think Hurlins is going to win the race. They now know that he's beatable. And he said that. They're not scared of him anymore. So is it Jeffrey? I think it's competent. It's a bit of both. Hurlings has not got the same speed and aggression, but at the same time, the others have got faster.
Yeah, we're like sharks, aren't we, racers? You sniff a bit of blood, and then it's game on. You know, they smell a bit of fear, and they've got you.
I'll tell you what, I hope he. Hold on, it's that way, and I always do that the wrong way. I hope he stays fit and healthy. With comments like that, yeah, He's a racer. Fair play to you, Ashton. I love everything you're saying here. I really hope it all goes well for you with this ride. Yeah, Hurlins. Yeah,
we need Hurlins back up there. We need him back on full speed because that's going to make it even better. If you can have Hurlins, Caroli, Prado, Geiser, Febvre, happy days. So we need Hurlins back to speed.
Yeah. Everyone loves the bullet, don't they? When he's on, he's on.
Yeah, see, now John Hall's just said exactly another thing. Geiser, last year, the year before, had some horrible crashes. He'd bounce down the track and he'd get up again and carry on riding. You can't carry on doing that. Sooner or later, his luck's going to run out. And that's a horrible thing to say, and I hope it doesn't. But you can't keep crashing big time and get up and walk away.
But I think you're right with Geiser, but I think he might have got through the worst part of that because he's a bit older now and getting a little bit, obviously, more experience. And listen, he's still super fast, and obviously, because of course he is 4-time world champion. But yeah, I think he not got lucky, but like you said, well, I suppose you could say he has actually. He's had a few big ones where, like you said, where he's bounced and not broken. But I think Tim's even got a little bit smoother in that. Listen, I wouldn't want to call this at the minute. I mean, it's early doors, and you could say that every year. But I'd never rule out Caroli anyway. But more than ever, I'm definitely not ruling him out this year. You know, the way he started. And if his knee's healthy and he stays healthy, I really do think that he is going to be there or thereabouts, and it will go right to the last couple of rounds.
It's got to be in his mind that 35, he ain't going to have many more seasons at the very, very top level.
Yeah.
You've got to think that. So this could be his last chance, couldn't it?
Absolutely. They're obviously standard, totally agree with that. When we get to the sand tracks, then Hurlins will start coming into his own. I don't doubt that. But
that's something I thought was weird this week. Leading up to Matley, hard pack, why weren't they all racing at Fox Hills, or why weren't they coming over to Cusses Gorge like Febvre? Why was Hurlins racing at home in the sand?
I don't know.
What's the point of that? He should have been on hard pack somewhere practicing.
Yeah, I suppose some of them had commitments with races, but certainly hard pack practice. Does that make a big difference to you, Ashton, for example? Do you get to a point where you like polish it? I mean, you could say it's standard issue. You should go and practice on similar ground leading in. But with all the work you do in the off season and everything, is it really vital to go to a similar ground condition in the lead up to each GP, or can you just sort of rock up and roll with it?
No, I think it is. I think it is vital, because you get a feel for how your suspension reacts on that surface compared to sand, say. So I think it does, and you've got to get it in your head of what you're going to be racing on, or somewhat like it. So if you're practicing on sand and then going somewhere like Fox Hills, then you're going to come in there and not know what's going to go on with your front end, if it's washing and stuff like that. So I think it is.
Yeah.
Massively.
There you go. So there we go, Rog. Next time we go commentating, like for Matley, we've got to go somewhere like to a big festival a couple of days before.
That's what it's like, isn't it?
Just to get into it. Yeah,
just to get into it.
Just to get into it. And we've got to practice cake eating, obviously, as well, so that we're fully up to that.
I don't need to practice that, as many people will tell me. I'm doing all right with that. Got to say, though, the overall vibe of the weekend, considering all the fans couldn't come over to the paddock, which is a massive part as a fan. You pay your ticket and you love seeing all the big trucks and getting close to the riders. I thought they embraced that pretty well. Anybody that was there that bought their ticket and did come along, I think you guys out there in the field still did great in creating an atmosphere, considering like you couldn't really.
I was worried coming into the event. I was worried with 4,000 fans at Matley. I thought, oh man, it's going to look empty. There's going to be no atmosphere. It's going to be not the same. But I have to say, I reckon that was probably the best one we've had for a long time. I have to say, atmosphere, crowd, racing, even the weather didn't do what it was supposed to. So I think the atmosphere was good. I mean, they reacted with us. They worked, with us. We had a good time, and I was worried, but it actually panned out a whole heap better than I thought it would. And I thought it was brilliant. I don't think it could have gone better, other than add a British winner. That's the only thing that could have been better this weekend, I think.
No, I agree.
Okay.
Like, I've done like 2 Matalys now, and I think the crowd was pretty bang on this weekend as well.
So it's down to you next year. That's the only thing we need now is a British winner. So it's down to you, Ashton, now.
Yeah, no, I think I might be in big boy class next year as well. So
There you go.
Is that right? Because you age
22
out.
now, so I think I turned 23. I turned 23 before the season ends. So I don't know how it works, if I'll be too old. What?
Oh, it'd be good to either way. I think you've gained a load of fans. Coming on. Well, I say coming on here. hopefully this goes out to enough people where you can.
I'm not sure how it works. If you're 23 next year, that means you see the year out, doesn't it? I'm not sure.
I think you have to turn 23 on the like, say, the 1st of January 22. Do you know, like that?
Yeah.
It's
Just,
strange.
can't you just sort of doctor your birth certificate a little bit? A load of top riders done that. Like Damon Bradshaw was 16 for like 8 years on the spin. It's easy. Just tamper with you. Yeah, it's fine. We'll get you in somehow. What you got to do? Have you shaved your tash off?
Oh, I've got to do that. I know.
Have you got to do it?
It's going to be on Instagram. No, it's still there, but it's just
Well,
if I tint like that, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, it's the light. Listen, I have the same problem. Don't worry, but mine's starting to go white. But listen, if you might have to shave it off so you look under 23, because obviously
I've got to shave it off anyway.
Why?
I made a bet with the team. So
what was the bet?
If I get 2 top 15s, I can keep my mustache, and he has to grow one like mine for a month.
Who does?
Reese, I think Reese Bowl.
Right. He can't grow a tash. Reese can't grow a tash.
I said that to him. I said, mate, you're going to look dodgy with a tash, but now I obviously got it in the first one, which I was buzzing. So I was giving him a load of crap, saying, oh, you're going to look nice with that. And then went out and threw it away, didn't I? So I'll be posting an Instagram tomorrow of it gone. Oh,
no, the tash. It's a shame. Oh, well, at least you got a chance of growing it back. Reese, if you're watching, you haven't got a prayer. He's far too fair skinned to even if he did, you wouldn't see it, would you?
Literally.
Come on, Reese. That's funny. That's good stuff.
I'm heartbroken though. I've had this mustache for a year now, and it's leaving me. I'm bloody good. A comment on that, you know.
So you've taken a year to get to that stage.
I know. And how long is it going to take to get back?
Yeah.
Well, John is basically saying, John Hall, that what are you saying, John? That we should do a live on air, get it off now, and do it like it. So go and take it off now. I don't think it's no.
You can't even see it now, anyway, dude. Like,
just open the window. Open the window. A bit of breeze will blow that off.
Oh dear. Well, either way, yeah, if it's coming off, that would be when you get to the next round of the British, you got to. We'll be seeing you without it then, I suppose. Because, like I say, if it takes a year to grow back,
I've got to leave it off for a month as well. So I've got to keep it bicked off for a month.
All right. Bit of milk and the cat will take that off, John reckons. Listen, that's a good way to end the show, I think. Because obviously just had a good time talking to you both. We spoke about the crowd. I've already had that on my list here, but I really do think the crowd made for a great weekend. Got to say, up in the campsites, I want over the regular one, as you probably heard me say. I was VIPing, but even in VIP was mad, but not mad, but a real great atmosphere.
Ashton, do you know how many times he said that during the course of the weekend that he was in VIP?
Yeah,
all the time.
Well, yeah, well, first and foremost, because I thought I'd better sort of name check that it's out there because the guys gave me a VIP pass. Secondly,
were you in VIP then, Jeff?
I was in VIP. Yeah.
Were you? Yeah.
Yeah. Up the top. Was you not there? Of course, you get helicoptered in, don't you, each time?
Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. It was good. The atmosphere.
No, I was on the drone. I was on one of the drones.
It was just a good weekend, wasn't it? So what I think a good way to sign off the show is to say that obviously next year, fingers crossed, the world will be, I wouldn't say normal because it never is, but back to some kind of normality, and we can really fill the place right up. And this is we're going to get all like Pally again, a kind of group hug. Riders like Ashton performing like that. That's what we need, because I've said before, the British GP particularly Steve Dixon laying it all on the line. I just think we should embrace it more. I still am a little bit perplexed. I think there should be no other race meetings that weekend in the cross calendar, and everybody should get there.
Yeah.
I think. You guys all there? Have you both frozen?
No, I'm still here.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
listen,
I think 100%. The more people, the better. And the ones, to be honest, anyone who wasn't there this weekend missed out.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they missed out because it was a cracking event.
Dick Law was in VIP too. He didn't mention it.
Do you know anyone else who was in there, Jeff?
No, I was too busy. When I got there, I was too busy. Because I was VIP, I was keeping myself to myself. I had my own security and everything up there. I had decadent food and fine wines. Nice cake.
Meant that.
Yeah.
You brought a scraps, didn't you, from the VIP area?
I didn't see you complaining when you whacked that lemon drizzle down your throat.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair play.
Right. We'll end it there because we're going to start talking about food. And if you get me starting talking about food, we'll be here for another hour. Thanks for coming on, guys. Ashton, you smashed it at the weekend. And I'm so made up, genuinely, that you've picked up a really good supported ride because you've earned it.
We need to talk about that, Ashton, because obviously it's down to me. So we need to talk about how much you're going to pay me for that.
I know, I'll have to sort you out, water.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll tell you what, he drives a hard bargain, Ashton. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my lemon drizzle.
Lemon drizzle. That's it. You got it.
Oh, if you can feed him with cake, you're sorted.
You're in.
I got it.
Is Dick Law complaining? Where was his wine? All in good time, Dick. I'll bring the wine to the next event. Oh, bloody hell! I'm like food service for most of the paddock.
It's the only reason you were there. You know that. The only reason you were up with us.
No. And that it's like a casting couch. That's how you get to the top in this game.
Steady now. Whoa.
Right, definitely ending it there.
There's a thought I don't want to go away with.
Listen, enjoy the rest of the evening, you two. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Ashton, you look good in that t-shirt, by the way, once you finally found it. Yeah, doing your team thing. Roger's got his Fox hat on, showing some love to them. Listen, I'll see you guys soon. I don't know when. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Oh, before we go, very quickly, I've got to do this. I've got to show this because I didn't bring it up. And let me find it. It's here somewhere. For those of you that didn't see this, hopefully this will come up on screen. Jacoby's crash.
Oh,
it's on social. This is a picture. I found a picture of it. I don't know who I should credit for this photo, so I'll probably get a check in the post. A bill in the post. But check this out. This is just a part of it. For those of you watching, how bonkers is that? Go and check it out. It's all over social media. You'll find it. That was a big crash in front of the the pit lane straight. I don't think you guys can see it, can you?
I can see it. Yeah.
Oh, you can see it.
Bonkers.
I mean, what's going on there? Sorry, Roger, I shouted over you at that point, but now when you were commentating, but now you can understand why I did. And he just kind of like rolled off.
He just bounced out of it.
He's had some big ones, isn't he, Jacoby? God.
Yeah.
Tough.
That's an angry kid, but that's another story.
That's another story for another day. Right, you two, get gone. Thanks for coming on, Ashton. Really appreciate it. Rog, I'll speak to you soon enough. That was our little breakdown of the British GP. There is a little fly on the wall vlog that I knocked up over the weekend, and as we've put on our Dirt Hub YouTube. If you want to see evidence, I don't know why people would want to see evidence of Roger and Paul eating lemon drizzle. It's on that video.
That's not all we did.
So yeah, unfortunately, Ashton, I didn't get any of you on there because I wasn't sure about filming too much racing because I'd probably get in trouble.
I thought you had the GoPro out when I was getting interviewed by Rog.
Oh, you are on there.
Yeah.
You are actually on there. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going bald, yeah, but I'm when I got the pictures through that, I looked all right. My hair looked decent. I was pretty happy with it.
Christ, son, look.
Oh, that'll be me next year. Watch, big 450, no hair.
Nothing wrong with that. Cuts down. It saves you quite a lot of money actually on hair products and stuff like that.
Weight saving.
In and out of the shower pretty quick. Yeah, you are on that video. So people go onto our YouTube channel and see Ashton. Actually, just before Ashton was busting for a piss before that interview.
Oh, yeah, you stopped him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proper bad. Like I needed to go bad.
Yeah. So that's where it is. That's our little YouTube thing. So hit the link on that. But basically, yeah. So Ashton wanted to get through that interview as quickly as he could. Rog, I think you should have asked him way more questions.
Yeah, I could have really made you struggle there, couldn't I?
Imagine having to do 30+2 with needing a piss.
Yeah.
I won't talk about my toilet behaviour, but yeah, done that. Got that T-shirt. Didn't wait to the end of the race. That's all I'll say. That is definitely a time to end the show. Right, you two. We are definitely going now because I want to carry on drinking beer and watch football. And I've spoken to you two enough.
Nice one.
All right, Ashton, thanks for coming on. Rog,
thank you.
Always a pleasure. Speak to you guys soon. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers, boys. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. There's Rog. There's Ashton. And again, folks, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate your time on a Monday. We're going to keep trying to build these things up, get more guests on. Again, never too sure when we're going to do them. It all suits around people's schedules and calendars. But we got some good ideas for this show going forward for the rest of the year. So keep an eye out on that. Sorry, that's me burping. Terribly uncouth with the beer. Hope you've obviously enjoyed the show. If you was at the British GP at the weekend, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got all out safely and home safely with no complications. Hope you didn't have anything stolen. Obviously, there's always tow rags kicking about. We had to announce a few things being nicked, which is never cool. But on the whole, a real positive GP. Big up Steve Dixon and all his crew, everybody that put it on under real difficult circumstances. And let's keep being positive about the British GP. Hopefully it will stay in front's calendar every year. And we can just go there and talk about it every year and have a real good time. Right, as I said, I'm out of here. See you soon, folks. Basically, take care. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your ride and enjoy all your motorsport, everything you do. And we'll see you soon. See you later.